right now, some just on the phone, some people may be on the web right now, and you guys are already, extremely successful, and then maybe this may be something that you're dabbling in. Some people may be online right now, and you're like, "Hey, look at this is my last resort. I've lost my job. I don't have anything going on. I need to make something work. I'm sick of corporate America. I want to do something where I can be my own boss, have my own freedom." That's where you start getting some of that drive, and that's what Chad had an amazing amount of drive when he got started in this industry. Actually, I remember when you just get started in the industry, and now
Mm.
it's like, look what you've done, and you've
Yeah.
built an amazing community, and it's really exciting. So
Yeah, I think I mean at that time with my life, I was at that must stage. So
yes, 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 yes,
I had no way of going. I mean, I was the lowest point possible.
yeah.
And I think that's what that's what we're trying to do is figure out, where obviously I was on a deathbed, right? I got an accident. I was in a really tough position. And I think it's taking your situation and getting some type of leverage where you feel like you're at your lowest low, or you feel like you have enough. And I'll let you go into that, but you feel like that person has enough leverage where no matter what, they're going to do it. Tony, we're at a date with Destiny actually in Palm Springs. I'm going to show you guys if you can see. So unbelievable view. We're having a blast. We've gotten about, I don't know, we got 3 hours of sleep, something like that, last night.
Yeah, so apologize about the red eyes.
Yeah, I don't think they can see, hopefully. But so yeah, I mean, Tony basically says, you need somebody behind you screaming like, work out, run, like jump on, do whatever you can, and we're trying to figure out exactly what that is for you.
Mm.
What is it for you that makes you wake up and just power through all the crap that happens,
Yeah.
right?
One of the biggest things, and guys, as you can probably tell, we don't have any format per se for this. We're going to freestyle this and give you guys what we feel you need at the moment. One of the things Chad said that made me think about, you said the word must.
Mm.
The word must, M-U-S-T, is absolutely huge. A lot of times people, because I've worked with people in the real estate, I've worked with people in so many different programs, and one of the biggest things is getting over the hurdle and getting to where you want to be is just switching around some of your language. It's as simple as that, and it'll take you from here to here. And one of the biggest things that you need to do right now, if you have pen, paper, or you're taking notes on your computer, is ask yourself the question, why must I take this seriously? Why must I move forward in this business? Why must I get the goals that I want? Because for all of you, it's different. Some of you may want to come in here and just dabble around, make a couple $100 extra a month. Some of you, I know you have students who are making several $1,000s a month.
Oh yeah, even more.
I mean, even, yeah, even more. I mean, that's awesome. That's really exciting, you
Yeah,
know?
heck yeah.
So, but I can guarantee you that each one of those students, and everyone has a different why. Like, again, I understand that. But let's say for those students that are making several $1,000s a month consistently, residual income with this product, why is that? Because they figured out in the beginning, they said, I must make this happen because. And that, if you write down that question right there, it has so much power, and answer that for yourself and keep that handy whenever you're doing your business. Why must I do this? What is my must reason? For some of you, it may be because you have a family and it's like, I've got to put food on the table. I've got to leave. Some people, it's, I want to leave a legacy.
Yeah.
And that's one of the greatest things that I really love about your program, what you're doing, Chad, is you didn't just set up a program and say, oh, I'm going to make this program and make a lot of money off it. You said, I'm going to set up a program and then I'm going to commit myself to this community
Hmm.
to make sure they constantly have the best information. They can constantly move forward, constantly strive. And that's, I highly respect that. But I think that's probably one of the first things to start with is figure out what's your why. What's your must? Why did you purchase this program? Why did you get involved
And
in this
maybe they should put
program?
it in. Can you guys chat in? You can put in the chat right there what your actual why is, and we can actually see it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Let's see here. Alright. Very cool. Yeah, so obviously, I mean, my why at the time was just basically I learned that what I was using before with real estate wasn't working. And I was absolutely miserable and I did not want to go through my life the way that I was going. I was just absolutely burnt out and I watched myself pass through my 20s without really enjoying life, without doing, I enjoyed life on a small level, but not at all, not even close to where it could be. And so I went through all this pain and I got my accident, I realized, man, this is not a life even worth living. And so when I started asking these questions, when Matt came and actually drilled them into my head in the hospital bed, I started understanding, okay, there's so much more out there, and I've been running these programs that are completely not serving me. And so that's why it's so important to really get in there and find out what is that why. And it's not this, well, obviously I want to make a bunch of money, I want to do this, and we've talked about that a little bit with the program, but it's really, really getting clear with it where you get emotional and you actually feel that intensity inside of you where, it can almost bring tears to eyes. Like, I talked to somebody the other day, actually, at the conference, and they're one of our, leave their name anonymous, but they're in our community. And they got tears in their eyes. They said, hey, I have a 2-year-old, and I grew up poor, and my 2-year-old came up with this autoimmune disease, and basically I had no money to help pay for the medical bills. And so I had to figure out a way to make money. In my job, I was making a certain amount that could basically pay for my survival needs, my bills, but I couldn't pay for my medical bills for my kid. And so this guy basically failed over and over again. He bought the program, didn't hire the right developer, he kept on pushing through, and 2 weeks ago, he got his first app in there, and now I think he's making like $65 a day. Would $65 a day change the quality of your life? And for most people, it is. For most people, that's a lot of money. And, the only reason I can honestly say it did it wasn't because of, he found some magic mechanic and a tool that all of a sudden connected the dots. It's because mechanically in his head, psychology turned on and he was able to push forward and figure things out within himself. And I honestly feel like he's making $65 a day. It's probably going to go up to a couple $100 a day. He's going to keep pushing through. It doesn't stop there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, something I'd like to also say on that too is that you brought up a good point. Money is not a motivator, and that's another big thing that people need to realize. And I'll explain that here in a second. But obviously, what this webinar is going to be about is mindset. Okay. And for some of you, like the person you just talked about, had a very clear reason why it was they had to start getting involved in this business. Now, for some of you on there right now, I know that a lot of you probably like, well, dude, I totally want to make a lot of money. That's why I'm jumping in this.
Right.
And I understand that, but it goes further than that because a lot of times what will happen is money alone will not motivate you to take action. And if it does, it'll only, from what I've seen years and years of working with people, clients left and right, is that it will only give you so much leverage for only so long a time. Then what happens is you burn out. It's like, oh, I want to make a lot of money, so I'm doing this program, I want to make a lot of money. Then next thing you know, you don't really have the juice to move forward. So the question is if you're on the webinar right now and you're saying, well, I don't know what it's, I just want to make a lot of money. What is it that the money will do for you? What is it that the money will provide for you? And think about that because that is going to be what your motivating factor is. So with the mindset, because, Chad said, let's talk about mindset and that type of thing right here. A lot of times when we talk about mindset stuff, it sounds very fundamental, but if the points are taken seriously and you guys work with these points, it will give you everything that you need because it's all mindset. In the field of coaching, especially with business coaching, when I realized I can work with somebody who's just starting up a company, I can work with somebody who's a multi-millionaire, and even if I haven't been in their business, I have the ability to help them with getting results. And it's not that, oh, I'm some great person. It's because it's all the same, where the results that people want to get, it breaks down to that 80-20 rule. We always hear about that 80-20 rule, but it's 80% psychology, 20% mechanics. So here, the 20% mechanics is you guys already have the program. You guys already have the gold, right? I mean, the App Empire product, it's amazing. It works. People are out there getting amazing results. And it's the 80% the psychology is, okay, how do I get myself over the hump? What's that little shift that I need to make in order to get to the next level? And it's interesting because if you think about, I remember hearing somebody talk about this one point in time, it made so much sense to me, but you take something on Earth, right? And let's say it's a laser beam, you shoot it up into space. And if you click that 1 millimeter to the side, right, on Earth, it looks like there's no difference whatsoever right there with that shift. But when you measure that thing up in space, that thing is now miles away. The 2 points are miles away. And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take this little thing, and sometimes just like a little thing that you hear that becomes an aha moment. And for each and every one of you on this webinar, each one of you guys is going to have a different experience. So somebody's going to take something from this webinar at one point and be like, oh, this is what I needed. This is the one sentence I needed to hear, and this is going to take me to the next level. Some of you may be something else. Bam. But that's what I would recommend with what you're talking about is figuring out, if you think it's money that's the motivator, say to yourself, what is it that the money will buy for? What is it that I can do with the money? What is it that the money is going to do for me in my life? How's it going to help me? How's it going to help my family? What can I purchase? What do I want to buy?
So we have one right here. I want to escape the 9 to 5 slavery and have freedom. So what do you say to that? Is that specific enough? Is that not specific?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that's a great motivator, okay? So what you're doing right now is you're associating pain, okay, with what it is that you want. And that's fantastic because in order to get leverage, okay, in order to move forward, you need to get leverage on yourself. So it's like, okay, how do you get leverage? Getting leverage is getting a why. But a lot of times the why may not be juicy enough, so you have to dig deeper. And the way you dig deeper is to get closely associated with the pain and then closely associated with the pleasure of what it is that it's going to do for you. So for instance, this person here want to escape the slavery. See, I love that right there. Want to escape the 9 to 5. And God bless you. I totally understand. It feels like, slavery and a job. Yeah. So
slavery isn't good.
So what I would do is right there, want to escape the slavery and have freedom. Okay, perfect. So I would make a list of when you say slavery, what does slavery mean to you? What is it about the 9 to 5 job that you can't stand or that makes you feel enslaved? So I'd go deeper. And the deeper that you dig, okay, the deeper that you dig, then what will happen is then you'll start really getting closely associated. Because right now your brain thinks slavery, and it's like an all-encompassing thing. It's like, hey, my boss yells at me every single day. My boss disrespects me. I don't get along with my employees. I'm not making enough money. These things, by getting more detailed, these are the more of the things that are going to be like that driving knife in you that's going to be like, that's it. I got to get past this. I got to get past this. And then when you say freedom, that's the pleasure that you're linking to this, right? So you want to get very clear about what the freedom is for you. What does freedom mean for you? For some people, freedom may be, hey, I never have to work a job ever again. Some people, freedom may be, hey, dude, if I could just get an extra 10 hours a week or an extra 10 hours a month, I'd feel free. Hey, if I could spend time with my kids because right now I don't have time to spend with my kids, that would make me feel free. So it's excellent what you wrote there. I absolutely love it. What I would say is take that deeper. Take it deeper, because the deeper that you go with it, the more it's going to resonate with you, and you'll give you even more leverage in moving forward.
So what do you say to that person? So thank you for that response. What do you say to that person who they come up with their juicy why, they figure it out, they get their leverage, and then, they have 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2-3 months go by, and they're not getting the results? Are they not checking in with it? What is that? They feel lost, but they did their why. What do they do now?
Okay, yeah. So you do your why, right? And that's like part of the puzzle. Then what you need to do is now you have to start taking action, right? And the taking action part, that can be a very multi-layered part. For some people, it's as easy as they find out their why, and then it's almost like, okay, I know what my why is. Now I need to take action. Boom, and they jump in and they start going. And those are the achievers, right? And I know on this webcast right now, we have some people who are achievers. You're go-getters. You guys just get shit done. Can I say shit on the?
Oh, you can say whatever you want.
All right, so you guys get shit done, and I respect that. But then there's also people on the webinar too, where like you said, stuff may get stagnant, or you don't have like that achiever mentality. And one thing I can tell you is that's okay, because you can work with that. I can't tell you how many people I've seen fail when it comes to online businesses or real estate, these real estate programs that have come in the past, stuff like that. They feel that because they're not an achiever, or they're not as motivated as their friend, or they don't have the drive that somebody else has, they're not like a Donald Trump or something like that, that they can't do it. And that's the furthest thing from the truth, because again, it's all about leverage. You get that leverage, you get that why, that will help you move forward. So, okay, how do you start taking action? You haven't taken action in a while. How do you start taking action? What you need to do is you need to start scheduling your time. First of all, is what you need to do. Because what I see all the time is that people that don't, it's like the first step. You got to schedule your time. Once you start scheduling your time, things become more real. If you don't schedule it, it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this week or whatever. And then before you know it, the week has gone by, you haven't done anything. And how many people on the webinar can probably say, yeah, I've experienced that, right?
Me.
So it gets down to scheduling, and scheduling is actually a lot easier than you think. I know a lot of times we have all these to-do lists. People are like the never-ending to-do list, I call it, because you put something on there, you scratch it off, you put something else on, and then it gets very overwhelming. The easiest way to take yourself out of overwhelm is, let's say in the beginning of the week, let's say you start your day on Sunday. Sunday you come in, you say, okay, how many hours am I going to set aside this week to my business? And then figure that out. If you have 5 hours that you could spend this week to setting aside to your business, then actually go on. I love digital calendars like iCalendar, Google Calendar. Those things are amazing for helping people with structure and organization who don't have structure and organization. Go on there and go and clip in. Let's say, okay, Monday, I'm going to do an hour. Put a block of time there where you can. Tuesday, put a block of time where you can there. And then if the day goes by, let's say the block goes by and you're not able to do that, then just clip on it and drag that block somewhere else on the day. So you see it and you see that little red line moving and you know that you got to do it. So that's the first step. For some people, that's enough. Some people, they see it, boom, it comes on the calendar. Oh, okay, now it's time to do what I need to do. They do it. Some people, this is another thing, the pain and pleasure thing we were just talking about. They associate more pain with doing the actual block of time versus the pleasure with it because it's overwhelming. It's that fear of the unknown. And a lot of times what we do as human beings when we have fear of the unknown is we clench up, right? We face, that's awesome. Like,
Well,
so
I'm listening.
yeah. So we clench up and then we don't do things because what's it easier to do? Is it easier to do something that we don't know, or is it easier to just like, let's say, clean our desk? And then we feel like we're productive. It's like, oh, I cleaned my desk. Now I feel like I did something, but you missed the boat. You missed what it was you were actually supposed to do, right? So in these situations here, again, the best thing to do is get your mindset correct. Get very closely associated with the reason why you want to do this, what it's going to cost you if you don't do it, which is your pain, and how are you going to benefit from it if you do. That's the pleasure. Now, again, for some people, that's enough. Bam, you get closely associated to why you need to do it, why it's a must, and then you're ready to roll. For those of you that's not enough, you're still paralyzed with it, the best thing to do is start using an accountability partner. Accountability partner is absolutely huge.
Sorry to interrupt. Should we take a minute and or 30 seconds and just have you have them write down? Because what's nice about this is we can actually do some stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to do that? You want to just take 30 seconds and write down what do you want them to do? Their pain?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that the best thing to do is figure out, okay, again, getting back associated to why it is that you must do this. What's it going to cost? This is the question to ask yourself, because when you ask yourself a question, it forces the mind to do what? It forces the mind to answer, right? And everyone's answer is going to be different. It's one of the things in coaching that I do with people is that I always make sure that they come up with their own answers because everyone's answer is going to be different. You're going to have different things that drive you different than the next person or different than what drives me. So ask yourself this question: what's it going to cost me if I don't do this business? Or what's it going to cost me if I don't start taking action now on my business? And when you write out that question, also say, okay, what's it going to cost me if I don't take action now? What's it going to cost me if I wait and I don't take action and a year goes by? What's going to happen? Where's that going to leave me? What's going to happen if I don't take action and 5 years go by? What's that going to cost me? So while they're writing it, do you want to just kind of like role play with
role play? Wow.
Do you want to do so, or do you want to give them time to kind of?
Yeah, no. I mean, you want to ask me my questions or what they were then?
Yeah, we could do that. However you want to. However you want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, my like I talked about before, my why was just getting my life back and knowing that I felt dead inside because I wasn't really connecting with friends or family or anything like that, so I felt completely dead. And then I remember you getting down there and just saying, okay, well, and at the time for me it was, just having passive income. I couldn't even pay my bills at the time, so for me to make even $100 extra a month over my bills was something that was really exciting. And also what, people that have done this and you still feel stuck, what I also learned is just, like you said, accountability, getting somebody there and getting a partner in crime or getting some type of a ritual up there where I could constantly look at it. I could constantly have somebody say, hey, why, what are you doing right now? Why are you doing that? here's your goal, and this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to put in this many hours a week. Are you doing that? If not, why aren't you doing that? And
Hmm.
it's amazing that we'll do more for others than we will ourselves. And so it keeps you kind of present with the whole situation to actually follow through and do it. If you get to talk to somebody else, you feel almost guilty. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And I found that was a way for me to actually accomplish some of my things, and it kept me on track a lot of the time.
Awesome. Yeah, and we could talk a little bit about the accountability partner here in a minute. One of the things I want to say is getting back into, okay, your reason why, what it was going to cost you. You couldn't pay your bills. Is that correct?
That is
You're saying you
correct.
couldn't pay your bills. Okay. So, what would happen to you if you did not start working on the business and then a year went by and you're still having a problem paying your bills? What would that have looked like?
That would look pretty bad. So it looked like again lonely, upset. I think a reactive mode. You know what I mean? It would have been a very depressive. I think everybody wants to have a compelling future, and so for me, I didn't have one, and it's tough when you're stuck into the trenches to think outside of that.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So it looked like a very miserable, dark place.
Okay. So, who would that ultimately have hurt?
Friends, I'm not gonna cry on this, am I?
Yeah, I'm gonna make you cry.
Awesome.
No, I'm just kidding.
Friends, family, ultimately myself, because I'm not connecting and doing, I'm not having fun. I'm not doing the things that I want to do,
Hmm.
and I'm not taking care of my health because I'm not able to see a doctor or get certain supplements. Um,
So what would it have meant? And then, okay, so let's say you're not able to get your certain supplements. Then what would happen? So you see, what I'm doing is it's like I'm taking the information, I'm extracting it and going deeper and going deeper and going deeper. And the deeper that we do that, of course, we don't have all the time in the world. So um, probably stop right there because I'm sure you guys have gotten some good stuff written down. But what I want to do is give an example. Is that the more that you can take it down, 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 then you start really feeling that pain really strong.
mhm.
That's when it's like, oh shit, okay, now I've got it. Now I've got it because let's say we got you back down to the point where you realize, okay, I'm homeless. I can't pay my bills. I'm suffering. My health is in jeopardy.
Mhm.
I feel like a loser. I feel like you see what I'm saying? When you
Yeah, yeah,
get
yeah.
deeply rooted to a feeling like who are you at this point? And so I feel like a loser. I feel like I lost. I feel like I failed. These are very, very strong words. And the stronger the words are, the more it's going to give you that juice to move forward
Mm.
because there's strength in words. There really is. If growing up all the time you were told by your parents you're a failure, you're never going to amount to anything. That's pretty strong. That usually has a really big deal on people's psychology.
Oh
Growing up,
yeah,
and I know it's probably happened to a lot of us here on this phone or on
yeah.
this call. So that's what you want to do is when doing this exercise, go deeper. Ask yourself why. What will that cost me? What will that mean? You see, these are great questions to ask yourself. Now, obviously, if we're doing live sessions, we'd be able to do it, but because we don't have all the time to do that, these are the tips for
There's
yourself
another
there.
one too.
Many reasons. Stressed. Yep. Okay, perfect. Yep. So here's as many reasons if I don't do it now, I may go broke. Between debt and kids, medical bills, really, really stressed, right? So it sounds like obviously your kids are going to be what's going to be your driving force. And what you want to do is start thinking about, okay, if I don't do this now, what would it mean for my kids? Envision what it could mean for your kids if a year from now you are broke and you don't have money to pay for the debt, you don't have money to pay for the kids, and envision that. What's that going to look like? Where are you going to have to go for help? What are your kids going to feel? How are they going to feel about you? And this is not comfortable to hear, but this is the part where it gets very uncomfortable. And you need to have that uncomfortable feeling to move forward because everything that we want is out of our comfort zone. I'm sure everyone
Oh
can agree
yeah.
with that, right? Because if the stuff that we wanted was in our comfort zone, we'd already have it, right? So in order to get out of the comfort zone, we have to get really uncomfortable. We have to get really closely associated with the pain. You said I may go broke, so you're not broke now, right? But you have to imagine if you were broke and you didn't have a dime, now it's like do or die, right? And I highly respect that, and I highly honor and respect. You're obviously a good parent. Got to take care of my kids. Got to take care of my bills, and so that right there is going to be great leverage. But what you definitely want to do is again, you want to get very closely associated to what would it mean if looking future pacing is what you want to do. You want to future pace because as of right now, I'm not broke yet, But what if a year from now I am broke? What if I can't find a job? What if I don't have anything and I didn't get my business off the ground within that year's time? What's that going to mean for me? Okay. And of course, as I'm talking with this person here, it's the same thing for everybody else. Whether you have the kids or whether you have you can extract the same methodologies and theories that we're using. So
Nice.
yeah, so that's good. So let's move on then for
Yeah,
time's sake.
yeah, yeah.
And so okay. So unless take any more questions,
So,
or how do you want to?
Well, we can just watch it. So basically, they have their why. They have leverage. They've asked the questions. You know, now they're in a stage where they have a great program. People are getting a lot of results. So what's the difference between? Because obviously we have tons of people that are getting a lot of results, right? So what's the difference between the person that's getting a ton of results and the person that's not? And they've done all these. They've done the the why. They've done their questions. What do you see as the major difference that they can do every week, every day that can kind of get them focused?
Okay, yeah. So you said this, that people that have done their why, and there's some people who have gotten results, some people haven't got results, that type of thing there. The biggest thing to know and to have confidence in is that the product itself works. There's two variables when it comes to stuff like this, right? There's the product and then there's the person. And the product itself works, which is awesome. I mean, again, you have people that are out there making money. I liken it to like a McDonald's franchise, right? If you were going to open up a hamburger joint and you had the money to open up a McDonald's franchise, whether you liked McDonald's food or you didn't, one thing is that but you don't like Happy Meals?
No, I used to as a kid, not anymore.
They make you happy.
Yeah, after I puke.
So, but the thing is, the one thing that we all know is that McDonald's makes money, right? I mean, they're on every corner. So that it's a system that's a proven system in place that is guaranteed to get you results. As long as you follow the system, as long as you don't go in there and start messing with the hamburger recipe, you're going to get the results, right? And it's the same type of thing with this product. The product's out there, the product works, the product itself has results. So the person is the only other variable. So I would say if that's the case, why is it that some people are out there and they're getting great results, they're getting great success? Why are some people having a tough time, right? And the only reason why is because most likely not moving forward enough. Or let's say you have taken action. Let's say you have an app in the store and it didn't do so well. It's time to keep on going, keep on going, keep on going, because it's a process, right? There's always going to be apps that are going to do well. There's going to be apps that don't do well, right? And with this, when you have a business, I see it so many times that a lot of times people get into business, and then with the first little bit of what they perceive is failure, really what they don't know is it's a growing experience, it's a learning experience, is that they're very soon to like quit or say, oh, that didn't work, right? Oh, the product didn't work, or oh, that didn't work.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that didn't work for me. But again, it's like, remember, the product's working. If the product is working for other people, how can I make it work for me? What can I do differently? What is it that I've already done, and what can I do differently to help get myself results? Does that make sense? So really, it's a matter of just keeping on going. If one thing doesn't work, learn from it. Take that as a learn. And another thing I would look at it like this with the mindset is, even though that app didn't make money, don't look at it like that. Look at, like, let's say the end of the year goes by, you have 5 apps, 4 were successful, 1 wasn't. Okay? Take the amount of money that you made over the year and then divide that by 5, by the 5 apps. And ultimately, let's say you made
you have to do math early in the morning.
Yeah, I'm horrible at math. So, but you see what I'm saying? Let's say you make whatever X amount of money, divide that by 5, then ultimately that's how much money you made for that app. Even though you didn't make money for that app on the, through iTunes or whatever, through the computer, still you made money on that app. You can use that as a success. Does that make sense? It's the same thing with sales. If you're in sales, the more no's you get, the closer you're going to get to a yes. And if you take the money that you make at the end of the year, and you divide that by the amount of people you talk to, regardless if it was a no or a yes, that's still the amount of money. So it's money that you made doing that work. It's a learning lesson. And then when you change your mindset like that, boom, people shoot off. I see that with salespeople all the time. That's one methodology I use with salespeople, and I see people just go from here to here. And really, this is no different, because ultimately you guys are doing sales, right? Now the product, which is beautiful about this type of system, is that the product sells itself for the most part. I mean, you obviously have to do marketing and stuff like that, but it's a residual thing where you don't have to be making cold calls every single day.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, once
So
your apps are there, obviously they pay for themselves. I just want to. So one person said, "How do I help? How do I turn around the belief that I don't know enough?"
okay. Okay. So if you have the product, if you have the system, you have the knowledge to get you out of the gates running and start making money, first of all. Okay. Because again, with the people that are in your
Mm-hmm.
the people that are in your system right now,
Mm-hmm.
they're already making money with the same product. They have the same knowledge that you do. So, and I understand where you're at. The belief that I don't have enough. And what you said there is a very, very, very strong word. It's the belief. And that's exactly what it is, because if we believe that we don't have enough information, what that will do is the mind plays tricks on us. Okay, the mind is a negative prophesizing machine. For anybody that meditates out there, anyone that's spiritual, you all know this, that the mind is it's honestly like our own worst enemy. So if the mind thinks it doesn't have enough information, it's almost like what it says. It's like, oh, I don't have enough information, so it makes it okay to not move forward,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because then you don't blame yourself, you blame something else. So I understand where you're at. What I would do is change your belief. And instead of saying to yourself, okay, well, you know what, I feel like I don't have enough information. This is when, with the mindset, and Chad was amazing at doing this. This is when you kind of like, you rewire your mind, you like break through. And I want you guys just to see what my physiology right now, what I'm talking about between my two different belief systems. And you'll see almost like two different people right here. But if I'm thinking to myself, I definitely, I don't, shit, how am I gonna do this? I don't have enough information. This is overwhelming. I don't know how. And then I've got all the information I need. I got a product here that tells me exactly how to go from point A to B. And the only thing that's holding me back is my own limited belief system. At this point in time, I decide now. Now is the time that I'm no longer going to have a limited belief system. I'm going to take action. I'm going to take charge, because this is the reason why I must do this business. You see?
Woo!
So,
I love it.
and all that is it's flipping your belief system and getting that certainty in your head. And that's what you need in this type of situation like this, is certainty. So how do you get certainty? How do you get yourself in a positive state? There's a couple different things that you can do to get yourself in a positive state. And honestly, should I talk about state then, probably right
Yeah,
now?
yeah, yeah. State's huge.
This right now is one of the biggest things that I could teach you. And again, it sounds like something very fundamental until you start doing it. The process itself, I'm going to say this, it's simple, it's not easy. The reason why I say it's not easy, because something that you need to condition yourself. It's like a rewiring of your nervous system, a reconditioning of your nervous system. But there's three things to look at when you're trying to get into a more empowering state. So if you saw the shift that I did right there on the computer, what was it that happened? There's a shift that took place. There's two different states. Here I was in a disempowered state. Here now I'm in an empowered state, a state that's just ready to take charge and take action. And the way that you do that is, one, I would start recommending, think about a time in your life where you felt like you were absolutely unstoppable. And matter of fact, let's all do this right now, because this is going to help everybody that's on this webinar. Whether you're already getting extreme success with apps right now or you're not, this is what's going to help take you to the next level, is managing your state and understanding, how do I take my emotional state or my limiting belief patterns, because we all have limiting belief patterns.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm a coach, I'm human. So being human, I've got limiting beliefs. I work on them all the time. So when you recognize a limiting belief, first of all, acknowledging it, that's the first step. So I commend you, the person that wrote that, because you're acknowledging that. That's huge. So many people don't even get to the point you're at. They don't even acknowledge it. They're just like unconscious to it. The fact that you've acknowledged that is the first step. So here you could say, okay, I'm acknowledging a limiting belief. Write that down. Here is my limiting belief. So what is my limiting belief? My limiting belief is that here I have a product and a system that's already proven working for other people, but I believe that I don't have enough information. It's clear that if other people are out there and they're getting this, they're able to get the results with the same information I have. Clearly, it's not that it's enough information. Clearly, that information is out there, and I have everything that it takes to move forward. So how do I change my mindset? Couple of things you need to do. First of all, what I would do is I would think of a time that you felt powerful, that you felt unstoppable, something in your past where you were able to take charge, you were able to take action. And when you get to that state and you think about that, and this is something you can close your eyes, you don't need to look at me. Matter of fact, if you do close your eyes, sometimes it's better, because you can go a lot deeper within yourself. But if you start taking a look at what you're focusing on, okay, your focus is everything. What you focus on is going to determine the results that you're going to get a lot of the times in a lot of different things. Because if you're focusing on negative things, you're going to get negative result. If you're focusing on positive things, you're going to get positive results. Kind of like that whole law of attraction with the laws of the universe. You focus on the negative, you're going to get negative. You focus on the positive, you're going to get positive. So it's the same thing here. Focus on some time in your life where you had a very, very, very strong state, something where you felt absolutely on top of the world. And think about what it is that you need to focus on in order to get into that state. Now, when we talk about this, there's 3 things that you need to work with. A lot of times people talk about like positive affirmations, right? If you say something over and over and over again to yourself, you kind of rewire your mind and you make it true. That's half true, okay? Positive affirmations are only one piece of the puzzle. I would write this down right now. There's 3 pieces of the puzzle to be able to change yourself from a disempowering state of mind to an empowering state of mind. So for this example here, the disempowering state that I don't have enough information to the empowering state that I've got all the information I need to be a success with this, okay? 3 different things. One is your focus. Absolutely huge. What is it that you're focused on? Write that down. The second thing that you want to write down is self-talk. What is it that I am saying to myself? Because the affirmations, that's another form of what's called self-talk. Affirmations is simply, what is it that I'm saying over and over again in my head? What's the mantra that I'm saying over and over again in my head, okay? Now, because we're not live, you don't really have the ability to do this, but what I would say is that, so for somebody who's thinking maybe, oh, I don't have enough information, I'm not going to be able to make this. The things, self-talk you may be saying in your head is like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't feel like I have enough information to get there. I'm not educated. I don't have anybody teaching me how to do this. I've never been successful with anything I've done before. Now, I'm not saying this is true for you, the person that typed this in, but I'm using this as an example. Okay, so these are negative limiting beliefs that you're saying self-talk over and over again in your head. You have to remember, if you're having these thoughts over and over again in your head, you're going to believe it, right? It's going to become your belief. And one of the things I've seen Chad work on, he's amazing at doing, and I really respect you a lot for this, Chad, is that you have the ability to say, okay, if there's something that you want, you get your focus straight, and then when you get your focus straight, you start working on the things you're saying in your head. So here, what you could do is focus on a time that you felt strong, you felt empowered, whether it was a business deal you had, or it was the birth of your first child, or receiving an award at work, or winning a triathlon, or something like that.
What if someone says they can't think of anything? They can't think of any time they felt absolutely unbelievable. Is that true? Do some people have no moments that they feel unstoppable, or?
Well, it's a belief system. Because again, we all ride a roller coaster in life. There's always ups, there's always downs. So when you're down, it's only going to be temporary. There's always going to be an upside to look at. If you're up, ride it as long as you can, because there will be a down that comes up. So it's a matter of trying to figure out how to ride that even. But let's say that's the case. Like I can't access anything. I can't think of anything. Then visualize. Visualize what you would like to have happen from your business. If you could have your business go any way that you wanted to, and what would be the things that would come into place from your business, right? What would light you up? Some people would be like, oh, if I had a Ferrari, that would light me up. If I had a mansion, that would light me up. If I could travel the world and not have to work, live off a passive income, that would light me up. And when you think about this stuff, what happens is, boom, all of a sudden, you start feeling that. It's an emotional thing. And this is what we're trying to do, is we're trying to work with your emotional state, because your emotional state is everything. So if you can't pull from the past, just visualize the future. And then what's going to happen is, remember we said that one of those pillars that you need to work on is the focus. So that's what I would do. That's what I would recommend for your question. It's a great question. That's what I recommend on your focus. You get yourself into that empowered state, and you start saying to yourself, okay, what are all the good things? So say to yourself, oh, I'm an app millionaire, right? It's one of the, I love that. You guys have that. I am an app millionaire. I am successful. I am, amazing at what I do. I am gifted. I am whatever it is. I am. This is going to be the affirmations, the self-talk that you're saying to yourself. The third pillar, which is huge, is your physiology. It's your body. It's your state that your body is in, right? It's what your body is actually doing. Because if I told you to look at somebody, or if I said that there's a depressed person behind this computer screen, what do they look like? I'm sure you can all agree, probably be hunched over, right? Head down. And what we don't realize, just by simply just calling that presence, right? I mean, you could see it. What I love about video is that you could see that, right? You see me like this, defeated, and then bam.
You like doing that, don't you?
I love it. I love it. I love touching myself, right? So when you do something like that, it starts calling a physiology. And I'm gonna tell you, everyone right now, if you're not embarrassed to do it, there's not somebody around you, stand up right now and stand tall. Stick your chest out, push your chest out, put your shoulders back. And just getting yourself in a warrior state. I like to call it a warrior state.
Yeah.
You get in a warrior state and you feel that. It actually commands different, your body, your physiology, your nervous system acts differently. Now, I know some of you right now probably like, dude, this is the shit. This makes sense. This is awesome. This makes sense. I get it. Some of you may be like, well, dude, this is ridiculous. But I promise you, remember I said it's simple. It's not easy. The reason why I say it's not easy because it's something you have to condition yourself to do. You have to do it. You have to do it over and over and over again. And the more times that you do this, what will happen is it will become a part of you, and you will have that.
It's like a muscle.
You had to do it when you were in the hospital bed.
Constantly.
When he was in the hospital bed, I mean, you have to imagine, I mean, he was in a really bad situation. Most people would have just quit. Most people would have pulled the plug, just been like, screw this, I don't want to be in this pain anymore.
And I wanted to. I mean, I wanted to multiple times. That's why when you say conditioning, it's huge because it is like a muscle. It is something that you constantly have to call on, and, you know, you have that power inside you. It's like, you know, constantly working out, constantly pushing yourself. And, you know, for people that say, well, I don't have the results or I'm not getting it, man, it's not like I woke up and all of a sudden I had that. Every day, I still have to do it. It's part of my physiology. You know, I still have a rebounder I'm jumping on. I'm still in the shower going over why I'm grateful.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Huge,
I'm still
grateful, yeah.
just constantly. It's a work ethic. It's that ritual that you put into place and that focus, like you talked about, Matt, and just that energy that you call upon, and everybody has it. I don't care who you are, everybody has it, and it's you know, we're talking a lot about this because I don't care what you read or what product you do or what business you jump into. If you are unable to call that forward, then you're stuck. And you're not going to get the results you're looking for because you're not showing up. That part of you that's been successful in some area of your life, because everyone's been successful in some area of their life. I don't care who they are. So if you're not calling on that, then you're not going to get any results. And even if you do call on it and a week goes by and all of a sudden you dissipate, you have to keep doing it, keep focusing on it. And there are a lot of different ways to do it, but this is what I'm taking. This is what I've done personally. And this is a lot of the stuff that you've taught me and that you've trained me on. Mm-hmm. And I just want to say that, you know, I don't care what level you are, you're still going to have this issue. This is the dance of life that you get, that it's just part of life. It's like eating.
Yeah, and I can honestly say, if you don't mind me saying, because ultimately you are the one that you took control of your own success, mm-hmm. no matter what. You are the one, but you needed tools because you were in a state where probably a lot of people are. So it's like it's almost like they're on their hospital bed right now financially, right? So a lot of you right now, it's like you're on your hospital bed financially. Chad, that's a lot of things. I've seen people, you know, gonna be like, oh, you know, he's successful, I'll never be able to be like that. What they don't see is that Chad was working on himself all the time, and it was using these three things. By changing what he was focusing on, mm-hmm. changing his self-talk, what he was saying to himself, and commanding his body to be in a peak, just getting into that physical state. And it is like going to, you know, you said you still do it, even though, you know, obviously Chad's had great success, he still does it. I mean, I was gonna say, like, you're in the shower. How would I know you're doing it in the shower? It's creepy, right? So, but the thing is, it's like going to the gym. It's completely like going to the gym. If you go to the gym and you spend 3 months at the gym, you're gonna get results. But what happens if you don't continue conditioning yourself? You don't continue your muscle. It gets falling. And it's the same exact thing with this. And this, I'm telling you right now, these three things are the three things that I see when I work with people, they just go, whoosh, they take off. And again, it's not because it's me. I'm not taking any, you know, like it's the work that's proven, that's out there, that if you do it, it's results. And this is another thing too. We live in such a fast society right now where it's immediate results. We're an immediate results society, mm-hmm. instant gratification. So a lot of times people don't want to put the work effort in.
Right.
Or they may just try it once.
They want to take that pill.
I can guarantee you, if you just do this once, it's not going to take you to the next level. It's something that you need to do over and over again. Mm-hmm. And if you do that, that's going to help give you the mindset that you need to, bam, just take forward, take charge. Because again, anything and everything that you're having is a limiting belief. Yeah. What's awesome is that the right now, the world, you know, you guys don't even have a limited customer base. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? The world is your customer base. It's awesome. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And you have the platform. You have everything I mean, you have everything there.
Hmm.
And if you take the knowledge that you have with this product right now, you start working, you start making it happen, but you feel, and again, it's the mind. It's all it is. It's the mind playing tricks on you.
Hmm.
You don't have enough, because you didn't have enough knowledge when you started working.
I
But
did
then what
not.
happened was you started conditioning yourself, the confidence,
Yeah.
confidence. The more confident that he was,
Yeah.
that's what actually helped give you success.
Yeah, and I think also allowing yourself to, if you have a bad day or you have that state change,
Which you will.
yeah, which you will, don't live there. Don't stay there. But recognize that, hey, you're human. You're going to have those days and just keep working at it, right? Keep being flexible. The nice thing about, well, the biggest thing about life right now and technology and how things are changing is that if you do not become flexible, if you don't become flexible and actually resourceful with things, right, then you're going to watch everything pass you by because it doesn't take, it's not like we're going to work and we had someone mention before they have 9 to 5 job. Even 9 to 5 jobs are changing. The way the world is going right now, it's things are always constantly moving, and people are getting text messages and this, and it's really easy to lose focus, and it's also really easy to get stuck in a certain pattern when all you have to do is be flexible and realize, okay, well, I can call on all these parts of me. I can focus on all these different things, and I have to schedule these things, right? I have to schedule when I'm going to bring these parts out of me. And one thing that's kind of cool too is maybe naming that part of you.
Yes,
You
yep,
know.
yep, that's huge.
So you talked about that. If you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yep. So your brain, your subconscious mind, which is much more powerful than your conscious mind, it thinks in pictures, and it thinks it thinks much differently than the conscious mind does. And what I like to do a lot of times with people is have them name different parts of them, right? So have an empowering self, have a disempowering self. So um, the person that wrote in don't have enough knowledge. I know there's so many people who feel the same way,
Yeah.
right? So if you take a look at that and say, okay, I know this is just a limiting belief. I know that that I do have enough knowledge right now to move forward. It's just a limiting belief. There's two different people talking there. There's a disempowering self and there's an empowering self, right? So if you actually name those two people, it becomes kind of like a fun game with yourself, but you're able to really figure out who am I being at this time? Who am I right now? So when you have that thought, or you have that feeling of defeat, or you have that feeling of you don't have the confidence to move forward. Whoa, 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 whoa! Hold on a second. Hold on. Who am I being right now? And then, I mean, have any names, and there's no right or wrong. It's going to be different for you.
Make it silly though. Make it like a.
You can make it fun. You can make it playful. You could say, oh, this is disempowering Stiz, or this is empowering Stiz, or like, oh, dude, now I'm being shithead right now, and now I'm being, dumb.
I
Because
like
I've used
shit.
that. I use it because I, I get harsh on myself because the harsher I am, the more it causes me to move forward. So
That's
I'll
nice.
use dumbass. So I'm being dumbass right now. I'm being like, well, you're hard on yourself. Yeah, but if I'm not hard on myself, I'm not going to move forward. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's almost like I need that verbal punch in the face. So I need that emotional punch in the face where it's like, oh, I don't want to be a loser.
Right.
I use that a lot too. That's how you use. I say, who am I being right now? I'm being a loser, or I'm being a winner. And
Right.
that's huge because nobody wants to be a loser. So,
Right.
but again, everyone's language is going to be different. You could use yeah, you could be silly with it if you want. You could be like, toots. Yeah, I'm being toots. Like, I'm being like bad motherfucker. You could be whatever you want to be. And it sounds silly, but I encourage you to do it because it'll help you disassociate the two people, right? And it's another thing to realize is that we all have multiple personalities. A lot of times people think, people who talk to themselves are crazy. No, we all talk to ourselves in our head.
Oh, thank
We
God.
have, yeah,
Imagine
yeah,
the only
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, so that when you got committed, totally
All right.
they had no,
Normal.
yeah, I'm just kidding. So we have 60,000 thoughts every single day. And the thing is that each and every time when you're yelling or you're being a specific person, when you're loving and caring for someone, you're being a specific person. When you're laughing with your friends, you're being a specific person. And it's almost like you can name all these different personalities and you'll know who you are, what time, and know where you want to go. It makes the process a lot easier. And I know it sounds easier said than done, but again, I invite you to try that on for size. Everything that I'm talking about right now with everyone on this webinar, these are tactics I've been using for 10 years with clients. I mean, again, I've worked everywhere from people that have been, startups to people with multi, $1 million business owners. And it's you know, it's funny too, because it's not me, it's the information.
Yeah.
Same thing with the App Empire product. It's not necessarily Chad. It's the information. It's the actual product
Mm-hmm.
that's going to help you get this. You don't say the product that he created, right? So here's the tools that I'm talking about. That's what it is. It's gonna actually take you to the next level. And it worked for Chad. It works for everyone I know. And a lot of times people be like, well, could it be that simple? Yes, it can be that simple. It's not always easy because it takes work. But if you're willing to put in the work, you can get there. The other thing I want to talk about real quick is the accountability, because we touched on that, but this is very important, because there's a lot of people that it'll come time to when you get to that point in time on your calendar, now you see that box looming right there and it's like, okay, work on my app business. You have two choices or two roads, right? You can either go this road and you're going to go and do the app business and you're going to do what you need to do, or you're going to go this road and you're going to procrastinate and be lazy. Mm-hmm. So if you have a tendency to procrastinate and be lazy, right, and you're going through your leverage and you're not getting enough leverage on yourself, the best thing to do is use an accountability partner. Matter of fact, Chad and myself, we use each other as accountability partners. Mm-hmm. I'm a coach, but I still use Chad as an accountability partner. I'll say, hey, Chad, look, this is the stuff I want to get done this week. If I don't get it done, I'm going to give you this amount of money. And when you put yeah, Chad's made some cash, right? So, but it's good, because what happens is when you put something up that you at stake, then it's crazy the way the human brain works. But a lot of times I've got I'll use an example real quick. I got a client, he for working on his business in the morning, and it was an app client. This is funny. This is one of your people. So he's saying yeah, I got to get up in the morning every morning and do this work, but I'm just not doing it. And so I talked to him about the accountability partner. So who could use his accountability partner? I said, my wife. I said, okay, well, what is it that you can put at stake? If you don't work on your business, what's something that you can do that you would, not want to do? And he's like, wash the dishes. Now, some of you may think, oh, well, that's crazy, that's silly, that's stupid. But for him, it was enough where he hates washing the dishes that he knew that if he didn't do the work, at the end of the week, he had to report to his wife, who was his accountability partner. And for each day that he didn't do the work that he was supposed to do, he had to do the dishes. And that was enough to make him do what it was that he needed to do. You could take give money to your accountability partner. One thing I do with Chad is, like I say, each time I don't do this, hey, I'll give you $100 for each time I don't do one of these things.
Right.
So at the end of the week, I don't really feel like giving Chad $1,000. I mean, love the guy to death, but I don't feel like giving him $1,000, right? So I think about that. If it's something like a mundane task, or it's something that I got to do that I don't really feel like doing, whatever, I say, like, well, is it worth it for me? The consequences worth it for me. So you see what I'm saying? Again, it's getting you linked with pain and pleasure again, but sometimes you guys might not be able to see the future with the business or see what it may cost you. So just a little accountability thing like that, pain and pleasure, works out really well.
So I guess, how does somebody, because not everyone wants to go to their wives,
right,
or their husbands, because that might create some animosity.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess friends could work if you have good friends. What if?
Yeah. And
I'm just taking it to the next. Like, what if someone's like, "Oh, how do I get an accountability partner?" And obviously, we do have an amazing community that you can take advantage of. But what if someone says, "Well, how do I get accountability? I don't know what to look for." Is that them being in that negative state and just kind of taking over, or?
Yeah, that's a great question. Great question, because the answer is yes. There's absolutely somebody you can find out there being your accountability, but it's a great question. If you don't have, let's say, your significant other or your friends or your family, you have all those options are exhausted, but I can guarantee you, if somebody truly cares about you within your circle of influence, then they'll want to help you. And I would just go to them and I'd say, hey, look, this is something that's very important to me, something I need to do, but I'm having a little tough time doing this right now. Can I use you as an accountability partner? What that means is this: at the end of the week, I'm going to show you what I did, what I didn't do. If I didn't do it, this is what I'm going to put up at stake. If nobody wants to be your accountability partner, thank God we have the access to the internet. You could use the community here. You could get into another chat room, find someone that wants to use an accountability partner, maybe for something else in their life that they're trying to do. It doesn't have to be specifically related to the app business. It could be a accountability partner that wants to work on their marriage, or somebody who wants to work on something else. And it's always best if it is a two-way street like that. Or again, if it's just somebody that cares about you, say, yeah, I'll check in with you once a week. But you need to make sure they're going to check in with you and that you don't avoid them and that you're also honest with yourself.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, yeah. The one thing, I mean, I definitely, so accountability is huge. These are the tools that are really going to,
It'll make you millions.
yeah,
I promise you, these tools will make you millions of dollars.
yeah,
Because again, it's not the mechanics. You have the mechanics, you have the product, and then you have Chad. This is the psychology.
yeah.
This is the psychology, and it's just like, people can it be that easy? It's like, well, yeah, if I want to get up or if I want to grab a drink of water right now, do you know how easy it is? All I need to do is to have my brain tell my hand, hey, reach over this and take a drink of water.
You're out of water.
I am out of water. But you see how easy it is?
Yeah.
That's it. It's just psychology. So, but we get so conditioned by family, by society, that by we're failures, we're not good enough, we'll never make it. Well, blah, 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 the boss, whoever's 9 to 5, somebody like. So what happens is it conditions us and it really pulls us down. It brings us down.
Yeah, and for me it was so taking baby steps I think is important.
Yes.
Not beating yourself up and really chunking it down so you're kind of getting in that momentum of success, right? So it's like if I want to right now, and this is obviously a long-term business. This isn't a quick
rich
one,
quick, yeah.
two, and you're gonna make millions of dollars. It's a long-term effort. And these tools that Matt's talking about, they're gonna translate in all different parts of your life. This is not just apps, it's gonna be in everything else.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what's important. But it's you're not if you're looking to run a marathon, you don't just run out and run a marathon. You wake up, you maybe you walk, and then you run maybe a half a mile, and then you slowly build up to it, and you don't punish yourself for not immediately running a marathon. And I feel sometimes, and I was here as well. I'm doing it here. I was here as well. Is that a lot of times people punish themselves for not being able to get up and run a marathon or lift 300 pounds in a bench press, and they don't celebrate their small victories.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they
yes,
took a
yes,
step
yes.
and actually gut information. The fact that you're on here right now watching this, taking notes, active. I mean, it's early in the morning. I don't know where you're looking at it from, but give yourself that credit. Celebrate that, and give yourself that momentum. And I think that's important, is because basically what you're saying, what Matt's saying, is that you're reconditioning yourself. So you have this conditioning that makes you be negative, that makes you feel unempowered, that makes you have all this stress. And basically what you're doing is you are getting away from that and reconditioning it into a positive, better state that's going to allow you to take action and feel good about it. So, you took a step, you took a walk. The next day, 2 days later, you scheduled a half an hour to maybe jog, and then you celebrate. You get done jogging, you're like, man, I just jogged. I just jogged. It's a beautiful day outside. This is absolutely incredible. I'm proud of myself. And it just gets you in this flow. A lot of people, once they get going in that momentum, then you don't stop. It's like that avalanche that starts, right? That snowball, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's what we're looking to create in our life. And specifically right now is obviously with the app business. And I would say specifically with that, it's like, okay, getting your research done, getting setting out your plan. And even if you go backwards, so if you're a person that goes back and forth a lot, so you do your market research, you call some developers you haven't hired, and then you go backwards, like, oh, well, I can't do this. Okay, keep going, take the steps. So where did you leave off with? You watched the program, you went through everything, you see people are making a bunch of money. Where did you stop? Did you stop where you actually didn't find the developer? Well, leave off there. Keep going until you get to the next breaking point. Okay, now you have a developer. Great. So keep going on that. Well, you have a developer, but he did half of your app, and you got dissatisfied, so you stopped. And now you're like, okay, and you go backwards again. You're like, oh, I can't do this. Okay, well, wake up, get to the next spot where you stopped, and take it to the next level. Find a developer to actually get your app in the store. Now you have app in the store, it's not doing any downloads, and then you go back. No, stop. Why is it not getting downloads? You know what I mean? Leave off there. So now I have an app. Celebrate that you have an app in the store. Be excited, grateful that you have an app in the store. Give yourself credit. You know what I mean? Life's too damn short not to give yourself credit, not to freaking feel that in your physiology. So start from that state. I have an app in the store. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. This is awesome. Now all I have to do is figure out how to market it. Great. How the hell do you market it? So you see what I'm saying? It's not going backwards. You've already made tons of progress. You need to give yourself credit for, and you really need to picture, every day. Again, I picture my life, what it's going to be in the next level. Where am I going to be next month, next year? Where do I want to be? And really getting associated and breathing into that and feeling that. And that, again, what Matt said, when you get into that state, That's when you get into being a creator. That's when you get a paintbrush and it's like you start painting your reality, and it takes constant work. I don't care at what level you are, where I was down before to where I am now. The difference is with me is, and that's why, even now people are like, well, can you continue to make money with apps? I know I can, because it is just a process, and it's not the process of the apps necessarily, it's the process within myself. I know I can be resourceful enough to do the right things at the right time, and maybe I'll fail 8 times in a row, but that ninth time I'll hit it and I'll be successful. I'm committed, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, and it's you said some great things because what you want to do, and I just took some notes here on some stuff that I wanted to say while you were talking about that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite sayings, I mean, I remember hearing it growing up as a kid, and it stuck with me, but I'm sure everyone's heard it, but Rome wasn't built in a day.
Mm.
And that's the biggest thing to realize is that it's all about baby steps. It's all about progress.
Mm-hmm.
So many times people take this process in what you're doing and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because success isn't a destination, it's a journey. I can guarantee you right now, you get to where you want, and if you're not consciously present and enjoying every step of the way and celebrating your wins and celebrating your successes,
Yeah.
then I don't care how much money you make through this business, you won't be satisfied, you won't feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
So the name of the game, and it's going to keep on giving you the emotional juice and the mindset to keep moving forward, is that you want to be constantly present in celebrating your successes. Build on your successes. And like Chad said, what will happen a lot of times, people get an app in the App Store and then they don't even realize, they don't give themselves their pat on the back.
Right.
But you need to do that because you need to realize, let's say a month prior, 2 months prior, whatever, you had nothing in the store.
Right.
You had no way, you had nothing in the store. So that you had nothing, right? So what I would do too is that, like, let's say if you haven't even got an app in the App Store yet, right? Very, very, very new. Take a little video of yourself, just a little private video. That sounds messed up. Take a private video, but seriously, have a conversation with yourself and talk about, hey, I just got started with this business. I'm so excited about this. Someday soon, I'm going to have an app in the App Store, and this is what it's going to mean to me. Don't focus on the money, because you can only focus on what you have control over, right? Mm-hmm. You don't have control over how many people download your apps. Right. One thing you have control over, though, is how many apps you're getting into the store.
Right.
For the most part, right? I mean, of course, it has to go through, the Apple team, whatever, to say, we accept this or not. But you ultimately have control over making an app, getting it, finding developers, getting it put in the store, right? So if you want to celebrate what you personally have control over, because whatever you have control over, when you celebrate that and you acknowledge that, it reconditions yourself, reconditions your nervous system, and it tells your brain, hey, guess what, brain? Hey, guess what, idiot? Hey, guess what, loser? Remember the harsh words? We're winning. We're winning right now. This is happening. This is real. We're making things happen. And then when you get your app in the App Store, because you'll so soon forget where you were in the past, go back and watch that video, and you'll be like, whoa, that's where I was. I really can't, look at this thing. Look at my little icon. Look at my little badge. This is awesome. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tattoo it on your forehead, whatever you got to do, But seriously, that's absolutely, absolutely huge.
And I think what we'll do is we'll take, if you don't mind, we'll do you guys can put in some questions that you have. Matt will answer those questions, and we probably have another like 15 minutes or so to answer questions. And I'll just leave you off with kind of the core of this, which is, make sure you celebrate your stuff. Make sure you make it easy to succeed. I can't tell you how many times I've constantly tried to think, okay, how can I make things easy for myself? And sometimes it's just like, I'm a very visual person, so knowing who you are and knowing, like, if you're visual, kinesthetic, how do you actually get motivated, I think is really important. So one thing that I did recently, which my team helped me out on, which is just getting those little picture frames, and basically getting the pictures of things that I've done in my life and places that I've wanted to go and places that I have gone. And it's just a little SD card that you put in, and obviously we live in digital time, so basically I wake up and I see right in front of me this picture that constantly goes. It's digital, and it shows me all the places and all the things that I want to do, and it just reminds me, because I'm visual, because I want automatic and I want to be in an environment that that constantly fuels me. I have things written on my mirrors that says all these incantations. I'm not millionaire. You know, I'm a force for good. I step up. I get through this. And then I have these little digital picture frames that constantly show me these. So I make it easy. You know what I
Mm.
mean? I have music
Make
when
it fun, yeah.
yeah, I have music when I get into the shower that
Oh,
plays. Yeah, it's good
nice.
music
That's nice.
that plays these songs that allows me to get into a certain state, like you were talking about, where I can say these things that I want to accomplish. You know what I mean? So it's just what are maybe write these down. What are two or three things that you can do to make it really easy for you that you can start soaking up these things. And one book, I don't know if you've ever read it. It's by Shad Helmsman. What I say when I talk to myself. That book was incredible because what
Mm.
it did was it's little cassette tapes,
Yeah.
and I did this in New York City actually like 13 years ago. But basically, it was your financial life, your relationship life, and it was basically incantations. It was
Yeah.
this guy, this creepy guy's voice. Even though I would still use it today, but and you can do it yourself. Creepy guy's voice basically saying like, I'm a millionaire. I am resourceful. I just played it in the background, and I would
Right,
go
right.
and I would wake up and I would get my nutrition in me. I would do all these different things and get dressed, take a shower, but it would just keep playing. And eventually, my unconscious mind adapted that
Yes.
and started having those wires down. So I'm gonna leave you guys off, let you finish with Matt, and I just want to say it's a pleasure. Make it easy for yourself. Take action. Step into that side of yourself that you have. Everybody has those two sides. And I just want to say, step into it, take control, get committed, get 100% committed in this. You will get results. If you're committed, you're going to get results. How many
Yeah.
people have been committed in something and haven't gotten results? I don't know any. You're going to get some results. Maybe you're not going to make $100 million, or you're not going to run 50 marathons, but you will make progress and celebrate that progress. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
anyway, I'll
yeah,
let you
and
take it
and
over.
while you guys are writing some of that stuff down, I may need you to like be able to like navigate, show
Ask
me how those things
questions.
work.
Uh,
Well, no, show me if questions pop up.
okay.
But while you guys are writing some stuff down, some of the things that Chad was talking about, it's getting stuff into your subconscious mind is basically it's another one of the things I certified as a hypnotherapist years ago when I learned about the subconscious mind, and understand that you can reprogram it. Anything and everything that your mind thinks is working off your child, really your child's brain. You like from ages 0 to 6,
Mm-hmm.
that's when our subconscious mind was programmed
Hmm.
as a child. So from 0 to 6, our subconscious mind was programmed, and now everything that we do in life is based off of that what we downloaded from 0 to 6 years old.
Huh.
So that's why everyone's so screwed up. I mean, it's seriously that's why people just
That's
are
what that
so
result.
screwed up. It's because we're 6-year-olds walking around. That's really what it is. 6-year-olds with cars and guns and you know, so but so when you take something like that, like a picture frame, great thing. Put it near your computer. Put something near your like you hear The Secret, the vision board, stuff like that. Put these things of stuff that you want. Put it by your computer because what happens is even though you're not visually looking at it all day, your subconscious mind is looking at it, and your subconscious mind is way more powerful than your conscious mind. And when you convince your subconscious mind that something is real, that's when in your nervous system you believe and really feel that something is real. So that's a way to kind of trick your mind. Another thing too, music is awesome. I'm a musician. I love music, and I use music a lot of the times to actually help guide myself through different states and to get me into that into that positive zone. If you have something, even something recorded of yourself saying over and over and over again, that's going to help get something in your nervous system. But what Chad was talking about, the things I say to myself, remember that's only one part of the three-part process that I talked about.
Mm-hmm.
That's very, very, very big to know, because if you just say this stuff to yourself over and over and over and over again, it will have benefits. But this is the way that you can put it into hyper mode,
Yeah.
is by not only these are the things that you're saying to yourself, but also getting it. Because think about this: if I'm saying to myself, I'm an app millionaire. I'm an app millionaire. I'm an app millionaire. I'm an app millionaire. I'm an app millionaire.
You don't
I'm an app
believe it right
millionaire,
now.
right? I am an app millionaire. I am an app millionaire. I am an app millionaire. You see what happens? You start calling that into it's like, and if you do that, and I encourage you to do that, if there's nobody around you right now, just shout it out.
Even if there is.
Yeah, even it is, it's I'm an
Yeah.
app millionaire. But what will happen is you just tell your whole body changes, everything changes, and what happens is that just rewires everything, and it gives you that confidence and that mindset and belief system that you are where you need to be and you are what you need. So change what your body is doing, change what it is that you're focused on, and change what it is that you're talking to yourself. All three of those things, and it'll take you totally to the next level.
Awesome. So,
So do we have some questions?
do you guys want to put in a couple minutes for some questions? Just type them in the chat box, and Matt will answer them.
Yeah, and by the way, everyone, I totally appreciate everyone being here today, and it's my honor to be able to serve you guys. I love helping people, love contributing, love serving.
I appreciate you, man, taking the time for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this. This is my work. This is what I do. I love helping people. So if I've been a help to anybody out there today, then that's a gift to me. So
heck yeah, heck yeah. So I guess what would you say for anyone that has just watched this, or they're going through it, they're writing things down. What is kind of your final thoughts on them taking action? Do they
get excited first of all?
Mm.
Seriously, get excited. Get excited knowing that, you know what, before, and again, there's going to be different, and then I'll let you finish that. I just wanted to say this before I forget, but because there's different people out there, everyone's having a different experience of this webinar. Some people are going to be on this webinar right now and be like, oh my God, this is exactly what I needed to take me to the next level. Some people are going to be on the webinar and be like, well, it seems like it was kind of fundamental. I don't know if that will really work. But the bottom line is get excited knowing that the information that you just received is information that for decades and decades and for however long, I guess, mankind, this is the stuff that works. These are the little tricks of the trade that works. This is what 3%,
Yeah.
97%, 3% of the world owns and runs 97%, or 3% of the world. These are the tools that the most successful people in the world use, whether it be consciously or unconsciously. And now you have these tools. And I can tell you with complete certainty, I've seen these tools work for Chad, friggin' unbelievable. They work for myself. All my clients are amazing. So one, get excited. Get excited and just know that, oh, awesome. Now I've got this information no matter what level in the game you're in. Some of you online right now may be really successful with the apps. Congratulations. That's awesome. Take whatever you can from this and utilize it to take you to the next level. Some of you guys just getting started. Awesome. Use whatever you can from this and just take off. Yeah. Some of you that may be feeling frustrated, right? You're like, I've been doing this, but I'm feeling frustrated because whatever limiting beliefs or whatever's happening, it's not just you. Just know that it's not just you. It's the way that the mind works.
Yes.
Mind, that's just the way it works. Get excited. Know that you can take this information. Everyone's going to take different parts of this webinar and utilize it for themselves. But I would say that's the main thing is get excited, get clear, get excited, get clear about what it is that you want and why, and then just start taking action. And one other quick thing too, with the accountability and scheduling your time, I've got what I call a 5-minute rule, okay? So if you're about to start doing the process, you see the block times coming up and you got to get working, but you're just feeling like, oh, I don't really feel like doing this, commit to 5 minutes. Set a 5-minute timer and just commit to doing 5 minutes of work.
Right now?
Well, yeah, you could do that right now. Absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely. You could do that right now. Matter of fact, leaving sight of a goal without taking action is death. So whenever you commit to something in your head, do something to take action. Actually, that is a great idea, Chad. Yeah. Get excited, figure out what it is that you want, why, and then take action, commit to 5 minutes. Try this 5-minute rule out for size. You put a timer, do work for 5 minutes, and then what will happen is when that timer goes off, most likely you'll look at that and be like, I can go another hour, no problem.
Yeah.
Because what happens is you got yourself in the momentum. You got yourself in the motion. And motion creates emotion.
Totally.
So,
awesome. And so just to finish off, these are the fundamentals, like you said, and a lot of people, I think, roll their eyes at fundamentals. But all we have to do is get better at these, right? I mean, the cliche saying is, free throws win basketball games, right? It's getting back to these fundamentals and not going for more strategies and tools. We could teach you all kinds of different things, but it's basically like, okay, what are the 4 things that you have to do? And that's what I strive on doing, just getting better and better and better at these things, because that's the most important thing that I possibly can do.
Yeah, I think it was, for you guys out there that know martial arts, I apologize if I'm getting the person wrong. I think it may have been Bruce Lee. But there was, famous martial artist who said, I'm not afraid of the guy that knows 10, and again, it's going to sound kind of, but I'm not afraid of the guy that knows 10,000 kicks. I'm afraid of the guy that knows one kick and has practiced it 10,000 times.
Yeah.
And that, I can't tell you guys how much I see people that come to me in business or people that come to me even from other coaches, and they say, it just someone's making something too complicated for them, or they're overcomplicating stuff, and it's just like, hey, let's get back down to the fundamentals. Let's get down to the grassroots.
Yeah.
And then by doing that, it's like if you master the fundamentals and you master the grassroots, you will be unstoppable. I promise you that. You will be
Yeah.
absolutely unstoppable.
Hell yeah.
And it's even with weightlifting. Yes, you could go into a gym and there's all these machines and you can work on all these different muscles. But if you look at the fundamental core, if you work on your body for 3 months and you commit to doing, I think it's like 12 different exercises or something like that. These are the fundamental exercises that will make your body so buff.
Yep.
Within 3 months' time. It's getting back to fundamentals, guys. And another thing I get excited about is know that, hey, it's not all this crazy rocket science stuff that's
Right.
going to get me to that next level or get me over that edge or get me over the hump.
Yeah.
It's really easy stuff. Or should I say it's really simple stuff?
Yeah. 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 So awesome. Thanks again for sharing that.
Oh,
Definitely appreciate
complete
your
honor
time.
to be here with you guys, and I commend all of you guys, and I'm excited for all of you because I myself entrepreneur and have been employee in the past and business owner, and it's exciting. It's really exciting stuff. So I commend all of you. I just
Yeah.
yeah.
And there will be a recording, by the way. I see a bunch of questions here. There definitely will be a recording, so to take a look at that, we'll probably be sending that out shortly, so you can rewatch this and check out. We have a live event coming up on Saturday, so check out that. Get excited, and that'll be streamed as well, and there'll be some of you here. And I've met a couple of people here already at the event I'm at right now in where the hell are we? Long Beach?
Palm Springs.
Palm Springs. Yeah.
It's amazing out here, guys. It's, poof.
So anyway,
Nice,
have,
nice
have an
stuff.
awesome day, and hopefully you get a lot of information out of this. Take some action now, like Matt said. Take 5 minutes when you get off here to just move in some direction of either finding out, where you're at, where you need to be, getting in a good state. Maybe it's just practicing a really good state and setting yourself up so it's easy to get in a good state and calling that power out of you. For Matt, obviously, he was punching his chest like a barbarian.
I'm a barbarian, yes.
For me, actually, it's very similar, but for you, it might be something else. Maybe it's just jumping up and down. Or maybe it's listening to some crazy rock and roll song. I recommend like an 80s rock and roll song, maybe even AC/DC.
Yeah, AC/DC is usually good. Get you pumped up.
Yeah, yeah, but something like that, you know what I mean? We're being silly, but something that just gets you fired up and just practice that and put it on repeat every single day. So, anyway, take care, guys. Much love, and we'll talk soon.